Welcome back, everybody, to a long awaited episode of The Scary, Strange, and Paranormal True Tales from Sean. Hey guys, we haven't did one of these since October, since Halloween time. I gave it a break during the winter months, during Christmas and the holiday. And we are just now getting ready to start a brand new season. A whole entire season planned of exciting episodes that I've been working on. You guys are going to really enjoy this. If you're new to the series, welcome. If you're an old timer and you have watched the previous episodes, you are in for a treat. We got some great topics planned for the next few episodes. This one is going to be to kick off the rust, to kick off the dust, get back into it. I think we're going to have fun on this episode. I got some things to talk about. Some local lore. Kind of weird New Jersey. I know I talk a lot about them on here because I am from Jersey. I'm in Jersey. So weird New Jersey is like huge here. I'm a massive fan. I collect all the issues. That is going to be a future episode. Weird New Jersey magazines. I'm going to be showing them off, my collection, recent pickups. I was going to do that for the first one back, but I don't have the issues on me right now. They're upstairs in the bedroom in the library. So I think next episode, we're going to take a look at some of my collection, a very little of my collection. I have pretty much every episode, every issue of Weird New Jersey, except for the past latest ones, and I'm actually going to my collectible hobby shop that just recently opened finally, and I'll be picking up the ones that I'm missing from my Weird New Jersey collection. I do have a massive collection. This will be the last pickups that I did of the issues, so I'll bring them down, we'll take a look at them, and then I'll have a follow-up to that once I get the newer issues. And then there'll be two more coming out this year. One comes out every May, and one comes out every October. So this is interesting. So I wanted to talk about the Hoboken Monkey Man. Now, I know that I talked about Mothman. And sadly, a good buddy of mine that I mentioned in that episode about his experience with Mothman. Sadly, my friend recently passed away. I talked about this on Twitter. He was a good buddy of mine, a good singing buddy of mine. We did a lot of band music together, a lot of gigs together. He sadly passed away this year. But he was the one that I had featured in that episode and talked about. He had witnessed a sighting of Mothman. Well, this is about the Hoboken Monkey Man, and actually my uncle ran into the Hoboken Monkey Man, but he's well known. He has been featured multiple times in Weird New Jersey, but even before I knew about Weird New Jersey, I knew about the Hoboken Monkey Man, and, you know, it's just a horrible thing. Now, people have been terrorized from him. He's been known to torment and terrorize children, young children. But I know a lot of adults that have been attacked from the Hoboken Monkey Man. Now, I don't know when the most recent, like I said, there's a few Weird New Jersey issues I'm behind on. As far as I know, I haven't read about the Hoboken Monkey Man in a while. The last I heard was in the 80s, I believe. And I think that's when my uncle ran into the Hoboken Monkey Man. And they used to believe that he was a homeless man that was just deformed. But then people saw he was climbing buildings. He was eating he was eating bananas out of like a trash bin. And there's like people that legit could write paragraphs about this guy, like in detail. I found an issue. I found, not an issue, an article. We're going to jump. Hudson Reporter Archive. I mean, this is what I found. It says here, I'm not going to read this whole article because this article is long. But what I did find interesting about this article is that this article goes into detail about the Hoboken Monkey Man. Oh, my battery. I got to plug my laptop in. Hold on, guys. Got 2 laptops running here. One for my graphic design and my YouTube editing, and one for office work. Okay. So, ever heard of the Hoboken Monkey Man? Residents recall mythical primate who terrorized kids. See, remember I was telling you about the kids? This text is so small. 25 years ago, hysteria hit the hallways of Hoboken schools. So, see, he was known to terrorize schools. Here we go. At least according to Weird New Jersey magazine, kids became so terrified in 1982. And you got to remember, I was born in 81, so I was a year old. Of the mysterious Hoboken Monkey Man, who supposedly had killed a teacher in the city, police department created a special task force to deal with mounting fears. Now, I talked to police officers in the area because I traveled to Hoboken to do some research in this matter because I was doing a photo shoot. I was actually doing a fashion shoot there a few weeks ago, which made me bring this topic up. And I was there and I said, how long have you been, a police officer? And the one guy said, I've been here forever, for a long time. My father was here before me. So I asked them, and funny thing is they were real quiet and real hesitant to talk about it. But he got me to the side, and the one guy said, I don't want to go into detail. He says, but I saw the Hoboken Monkey Man. Now, here's a cop telling me this. And from what he said, it did terrorize children, and it was hanging around the schools. And nobody was able to catch this thing. People were trying to kidnap this thing. It didn't speak. The one guy explained it to me that it was mumbling, like monkey talk. How the Monkey Man came to be. The Weird New Jersey book published in 2003 had this to say, so that's probably where I read it. In October of 82, rumors circulated about a mysterious ape-like creature terrorizing schools, attacking children, walking home, throwing students out of windows, and even killing a teacher. Now, I didn't hear about that. The Hoboken Police Department set up a task force to quell the mounting hysteria, whatever that they mean by that. Let's see. The Hoboken Monkey Man, he has his. So they're talking about somebody named DeBenedetto and Martinez. I don't have any recollection of anything. Okay. I don't recall anything about a monkey man. Maybe Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster, a little bit. He joked. It's no joke here. I don't know why people are joking. Very serious. Especially when dead people are involved. When no, Monkey Man. The kids that walked to school were scared of him. This is terrible. So that's the story of the Hoboken Monkey Man. I don't know. Maybe I might go back to Hoboken and maybe do an interview on the streets and ask and that should go over well, and ask people, hey, do you know any information about this, or have you seen recent sightings of him? Maybe there's more than one. You would think that the Hoboken Monkey Man would have been old by now. There's got to be more than one. He's got to have offspring. There you go. The second topic I want to talk about is the town in New Jersey called Newton. I've been there thousands of times, not far from where I live. I do a lot of business there. In the town of Newton, in northern New Jersey, there's a lot of crazy stuff. There's a lot of creepy stuff. And Weird New Jersey have covered that town. Weird New Jersey, I've actually sent them there. I've done my own investigating there. All through high school, I've done a whole report. I was featured in the paper there. I was featured in the local paper there. And I've done a lot of interviews, and there's a lot of crazy, creepy stuff there. One is the cemetery. I'm actually featured on Wikipedia, believe it or not. There is a very creepy cemetery, and it's world famous because there are witches buried in there with actual oracles instead of markers from Salem witch trials. Actual living witches were buried there. Satan worshipers, warlocks, monks, evil monks. They call them devil monks. Who else? Let's see. Notable burials. It says the names of some of the people. Some people, generals from the Civil War. Officer and aide to George Washington, Revolutionary War military. New Jersey's Secretary of State leader. The father of modern chemical engineering. Oh yeah, there's lightning bolts there. Very historic markers in this cemetery. But point to note, one of the creepiest things in this cemetery is some of the tombs and crypts. But there is an actual cave. You could visit it. It's called the Cave Grave. And there is a marker in the cave of where people actually died. The grave marker for 3 children lost in the caverns below Newton in 1909. They got crushed in there trying to explore. The rocks fell down on them, and they got buried alive in there. And they're in there somewhere. And that's where they had the marker put. That's where their tomb is. I went in this cave during high school. Me and a bunch of friends actually explored these caves before they actually closed them off completely. And we weren't supposed to be in there. And it was like a crypt. And it was very scary, very cold, very dark. I did a lot of exploring with this group of kids. Buddies of mine. His name was Steve, and another kid whose name was Steve. It was Steve and Steve. And I hung out with these kids. And later I hung out with this kid named Nick. And we got together and we just did all our exploring through local towns. And we went through this cemetery as a kid, and we hung out here, and we tried to get into mischief. We tried to figure out mysteries. We tried to do our own investigating. Then once we found out about Weird New Jersey, it was like, which was later for me, I tried to do all my own investigating and reporting to them as far as photography. But the cave grave was one of the big ones growing up. And it's an iconic and historical landmark in northern New Jersey that you can visit. So if you're ever in the Jersey area, or you're close in the New York City area, or anywhere near that area, travel to Newton Cemetery and visit these historic landmarks of evilness and death. Dirty Santa lives there too, but he's not dead yet, but he lives in the streets. He might try to get a couple dollars from you or hamburgers. He lives in the dumpsters. He smells. Now, I'm going to tell you another story. about another local town in our area of our local state in our state of supposedly hidden underground tunnels in northern New Jersey. Hidden underground northern tunnels. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. I've read a lot of the history going back to the slave times and going back to the Civil War and, going back to, 1834 and a lot of historic, there's a lot of historic stuff here, without a doubt. And there's no real true information about these underground tunnels, this underground tunnel system or underground railroad. And a lot of people say it's a legend, it's a myth, it doesn't exist because nobody's been there, nobody's seen it. Well, I have. I've been there. Now, this was before cell phones. This was early high school, grammar school. This is what me and my friends did, and we explored all these towns and all these areas, and we would have our fathers chaperone us and take us to these places and drop us off, God knows where in New Jersey, sometimes PA, sometimes on the border, sometimes New York. And I'm not going to say where because I'm not going to rat anybody out or give any undisclosed location, but we became friends with a custodian, a janitor, at a high school. And somehow my friend Steve knew him, if it related to him, something. And he got us in the school after hours. And in the boiler room was the entrance to this tunnel. And the tunnel went through the entire town. And one weekend, it was a Friday. We did it. Me, my three friends. Was it the two of us or was it three of us? No, this was just the three of us. More on that later. That caused a big stink because we had another kid that tried to be in our clique, but he really wasn't, but we told him he was just to make him feel happy. But he was an idiot, and he was pissed off when he found out the next day that we went. He was like mad because he wasn't part of it. And he went off and told his friends, oh yeah, I went, but he didn't. He didn't have no part of it. We were going to actually take him into the underground tunnels and leave him there. It was pitch dark. We had flashlights. We got into the tunnel, and it was like an hour long. And I'll tell you, we stopped after a while. I said, dude, we got to head back. We got to go back. God forbid if our flashlights give out, if we lose, light, if we get lost, if we go down a wrong path, we're fucked. Nobody knows we're down here. You didn't have cell phones or nothing. It's different now. I don't even think you'd have reception, to be honest. I mean, we were way down. This was almost like a mining shaft, which we've done too. That's another story. There's a lot of mines in New Jersey, a lot. And we went down them. Dangerous. Dangerous mines. I'm talking mine shafts that we almost never got back up. Abandoned mine shafts. Like nobody would know we were down there. Same with this underground tunnel. But for years in our area, it was known that was a rumor. But people had said, no, it's closed up, it's boarded up, but it's there. It was used in the 1900s or whatever, during the war or whatever, as a passageway to get to point A to point B. Well, somehow my buddy just freaking did his research and found the entrance, or so the rumor. And he did more and more research, and he said, no, dude, this is the connection. And it was true. That's all I'm going to say. And I know we weren't supposed to be there, but It was creepy, and I'll never forget it. And still to this day, people ask me, wow, you really were there. And you can't get there now because it's actually all boarded up and closed up. There's no access now from what I heard, but who knows if that's even true. Thank you for joining me for this return of the Scary, Strange, and Paranormal. I can't wait to see you on future episodes of the show. We got lots planned, and I hope you tune in. Take care, guys.